Hi, I'm Vice Mayor Linda Bartz with another edition of Helping Hands. Today, my guests are from the Children's Home Society, Matt Anderson and James Lennon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, James doesn't work for Children's Home Society, is that correct?
That is correct. James is a resident at our Baines Hall facility. He's a client.
Okay. Well, tell me a little bit first about, I understand you have a new program or a fairly new program with Children's Home Society, and it is?
Our Transitional Living Program. It's something we started about 3 years ago when we recognized that there were no services for the kids that were aging out of the foster care system. What happened from there is about a year ago we discovered that not only were the kids who were aging out of the foster care system at risk of being homeless and really had no services, but we had a whole new population. We were being contacted by schools, law enforcement, community agencies saying, I've got a young man or young woman who's still trying to stay in high school but has been kicked out or has left their home and is couch surfing, staying with friends, living out in the woods, living in an abandoned house or apartment or building, and we don't know what to do, and can you help? So what we did is we took another facility that we had next to our TLP program, and we transitioned it into our high school and homeless program. So these are young men and women, 18 to 21, who basically are considered an adult, but are homeless, and all they're trying to do is just finish high school. So we offer services. They can come live at the facility, stay engaged in high school. We work with the homeless liaisons in the different school districts. In James' situation, he lives with us up in Vero, but he gets transportation to his high school here in Port St. Lucie. We provide life skills training, some counseling, some support, food, meals. We advocate for them if they need mental health services or physical services, and then we really try to push them to complete high school and to move on to something else. So we're there. It's a service that we see growing. This year when school started up, the phone is already ringing, and you know, it's a 12-bed facility and it's pretty much full year-round. It's a free service. It's a voluntary service. It's not a handout, it's a helping hand, and we really try to focus in on just getting them to complete high school, because the kids that are aging out of the foster care system and James and his age group are the fastest growing homeless population in the country. So this is something new. We don't really get any state or federal funding. It's really a lot of community, United Way, community support, fundraising, donors, that we're able to keep our doors open. And again, we don't really charge our youth, our young adults, any fees. If they do get employment, we try to work on some budget issues and try to get them used to having to pay a type of rent. And if they are successful with us, we give a portion of that back, so then they move on. James is one of our, residents currently at Baines Hall. He is what I would call a success. And we brought him here today just to kind of show, where he was and where he's at now and where he's hoping to go, and really get the message out there. If there are teenagers or kids out there in the community, they need to know that there is help if they need it. And all they have to do is call or contact us. We send somebody out immediately. We have a lot of kids who come to us literally living with a garbage bag of clothes, and that's it. And we'll try to do whatever we can at that moment to get them off the streets into our facility or something else, and really then kind of stabilize their situation to get them out of that crisis mode.
So, Matt, James is willing to talk about his story?
Yes, he does it very well, yes.
James,
right.
I'd like to hear it.
All right, I was born in White Plains, New York. I moved to Staten Island, New York after that with my aunt and uncle, basically, because they took custody of me. My biological mother is incarcerated, and I never met my biological father. Shortly after that, my aunt and uncle split, and I moved with my aunt to West Palm Beach. And at that time, I mean, when we came down here, she had no idea. my uncle basically just shipped us out here. We had a bag of clothes. We couldn't even say goodbye to friends or to other family. And when we were coming down here, my mom was actually getting kicked out of her place because her roommate said she can't have kids. So we're roaming around the streets. We were in Royal Palm Beach, and my mom called her boss and said, is there any way that you know that we can stay? Because she was working at an assisted living facility. He said, well, you guys can stay here until you guys get on your feet. And I mean, just being there, just staying there, and like, I guess it really caused some emotional damage, just because I felt like my dad didn't love me, nobody loved me. And then from there, when we did get our own place, I guess I just started hanging around the same crowd, whether it was physical abuse at home or emotional abuse, and I started like pondering into drugs and alcohol. And I mean, I was homeless more than once. It happened numerous times, because my aunt was on drugs as well, and she had a drug problem. So it was. I remember a couple times where she spent the rent money on the house, then we're homeless, and then I'm homeless, and then it just got to a point where I didn't want to be there anymore. So I guess I was voluntarily homeless, you can say. I ran away. I didn't want to be home. And then it got worse and worse, and the things I was doing, I was incarcerated a couple times. I was put on probation, home detention, and then my brother, he was in prison as well. He did almost 8, 9 years, and the whole time I'm writing him, I'm telling him, oh, we're living here now, we're living here now, we're living here now. Oh, I'm on probation, and he was like, man, you need to go to school, you need to do all that stuff. He said, when I come out, I'm going to change your life, because he felt somewhat responsible, because I had no father figure, and my mom didn't know how to discipline me. I walked all over her. So he said, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna help you change. So he comes out. The first time we just hang out, we go to the beach, we have a barbecue. The second time, it's shortly before my 17th birthday, and he's like, he picks me up. He was living here in Port St. Lucie. We come here and we're just hanging out one day, and I was telling him that if I can have anything in the world, it would be a second chance. That I didn't want to be that person I was. I wanted to go to school. I wanted education. I knew what was important. And then he was like, I want you to move in with me. I was like, what? He's like, I want you to move in with me and go back to school. At this point, I was scared, because the school year before had 180 days. I missed 180 days. I have a stack of detentions and referrals. I never paid attention in class. I'm like, I can't. I was just scared. I was scared, especially moving again. I moved like over 20 times, hotel to motel, to friend's house, to abandoned car, to the slide in the park. I was just like, I don't want to. I can't do it. I can't do it. Then I just remember snapping into it. I'm like, this is your chance, man. Take it. And then I started going to high school. I was living with him for about 1.5 years. I was doing really good in school. I was nominated for Student of the Month 3 times. I won once. I remember he was telling me, he's like, if you don't get that many good grades, I won't be mad at you. You haven't been to school. I'm just the type of person, when I give something, like just anything, I give it to my fullest. My first 9 weeks grades, I had 5 A's and 2 B's. And he was ecstatic, but I was mad, because I could have got those 2 A's. And then the next 9 weeks, I'm like, I'm getting the 4.0, I'm getting 7 A's, and I got it. The principal's honor roll, A honor roll, and it just kept going. And then because of his record, he couldn't get no job, he couldn't get employed. And we were basically living off his wife's salary. She already had a kid, and she just became pregnant. So now at this point, we're like, what do we do? And I guess I really don't remember how it happened, but she was about to be laid off. I don't know if someone was going to work for a cheaper price or whatever it was. She ended up becoming laid off, and her parents said that they own a trailer in Ocala, and said that we can go live there. I told her, I was like, I'm not going there. I'd rather live on the streets again. I'm not moving. I'm in high school. I got a girlfriend. I just got a job. I'm not moving again. And I actually ended up saving up enough money so I can get my own place. And I was working at Walmart and still going to school, but it was really hard to get enough hours to pay all my bills, phone, food, and then not have it affect my school. Because the schooling I'm in right now, I'm in the International Baccalaureate program. It's all college courses. And I mean, it's not like, oh, just read a book and summarize it. You need essays, you know, detailed analysis, and just pages of homework. And then they wanted me to close. All right, I want you to work 8 to 12, then have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and take the bus. Like, I just couldn't do it. So I was talking to my counselor. She's actually also the homeless liaison at Port St. Lucie High School. She referred me to this program. And at first I was like, no, I didn't want to go. I was hesitant because she was like, there's rules there. I was just, you know, I'm used to living on my own. I'm like, no, I can't. I was like, is there any way that we can get financial aid or anything like that? She's like, we'll work on it. So I'm still living at this place, just barely making it. And then it's like, it's about to be Monday and I don't have enough rent money. She was like, well, you're going to have to go or become homeless. I was like, you know what? I'll just do it. And then I came here. I've been there. I've been at the facility for going on 8 months. Ever since I've been there, the programs helped me obtain my birth certificate. It was really hard to get my birth certificate because I didn't have no real proof of identity, and I couldn't have my parent go up there because my biological mother's incarcerated. I never met my real father. So my counselor, he just relentless, making phone calls, emails, everything till I got that. Once I got that, I got my ID, and then it was just amazing. And just actually being there, it took all the stress off. I didn't have to work because the main focus is for high school. I didn't have to work. I got a student of the month, most improved grades. My grades went up drastically because of work, and I was like C's and D's and B's. I was getting all A's. And then from there, I got like a 3.8. I got five A's and 2 B's. It's just been amazing there so far. And I'm a senior this year. I plan to graduate. I know I'm going to graduate. After I graduate, Johnson & Wales has a study abroad program, and I was to study culinary arts in Italy. And after that, I plan to take up some type of social services to help kids in my predicament, only because I feel like I know what it's like. It's just like, oh, my mom's this, my dad's this, look what I've been through, how many times I've been homeless, everything I had to do to eat, I know what it's like. And I mean, I didn't even know like programs like these existed. I mean, I hope when I get older that there are more for kids like this, because like he said, there's only 12 rooms. Now what happens if there's a 13th person? I'd sacrifice my room, because I'm just more determined. I know what it's like. And it's just crazy. So just to be able to be like, look I've been through that, and now look at me, I'm successful. There is a possibility, there is a way to change, you know. And then that's it. I just want to be able to give back and help kids.
I think your successes are just starting. Your motivation, your determination with everything you've been through, and I'm sorry that you've gone through all of those things. Our kids shouldn't have to go through that. But I think that you will find yourself growing and becoming more successful. And again, you know, the idea of giving back to kids that are in the same position, and there's nobody who can speak better to them than somebody who's been there. You know, we can take on all the textbooks, and the textbooks will tell us this is what you say, but unless you have the heart, which you've got, and the knowledge, the true knowledge, you're not going to be able to get through. And I commend you for what you've done.
Thank you.
I hope we hear from you as you move along, because I think that at some point we are going to hear about you. So, Matt, this is a success story.
Well,
my concern is that we have 12 beds.
We do. We have our 12 beds for our high school homeless program, and we have an additional 9 apartments for the kids that are aging out of the foster care system. We have probably 50 kids that are living out in the community. And I say kids, I mean they're young adults. They're struggling out in the community. A lot of them, we try to match them up. They do get an apartment. We try to help them with that because we don't have the facility. You know, when they're with us in our residential facility, there are rules, there are expectations. And we're able to keep our hands on them a little closer than when they're out in the community. If we had more beds, they would be filled. It's as simple as that. The phone keeps ringing this year. We served 150 homeless youth last year. and that's across the 4 counties, and probably 50% of those are St. Lucie County young men and women.
And this is only a small portion of what Children's Home Society does.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you will come back and we'll talk about some of the other programs.
That'd be great.
However, while we're here now, on the bottom of the screen will be your phone number, your website, so that if there are kids in need out there, they can contact us. If there is somebody who knows of a child or a young adult,
or somebody who wants to volunteer, we're always looking for mentors and life coaches. That is a huge part of our program. So anybody who would like to volunteer anything, just contact us if you need more information.
Okay. Well, I thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, but I will be seeing you again soon, I hope.
Yes.
And we'll be right back after this message.